Okay, so it is 2:51 Central Time here in my neck of the woods, and I decided I was going to start doing these little things, um, just random recordings about things that I wanted to discuss off the top of my head. This morning I was watching the Oversight Committee for Doge, and it was interesting to say the least. That's not why I'm here. A lot of stuff happened today. Um, they're still having the discussion about JFK Jr., right? We already know what's going on with that. Out of everything, I want to push all of that aside right now. There's nothing that I can tell you right now that you just can't go look up, or you haven't had an alert, or whatever. So this is where I want to go with this. There's only three choices right now that could possibly happen that is going to completely destroy the United States. There's only three outcomes based on what's going on now. Either Trump right now is going to wait about another week or two. He's going to burn all the bridges he's already burned. And when he shuts everything down, everybody's going to lose it. Everybody's going to lose it. They don't have any choice. Black, white, Republican, Democrat, Independent, nobody cares. Everybody's going to get burned. When that happens, if that happens, but if it does, everybody's going to lose it all at once. In the beginning, I think that the Democrats and the Republicans are going to try and fight it out. Fine. I think that's not going to last very long. I think people are going to realize that they have one common enemy, and it's going to be Trump. I don't want to say the government because I don't think that that's what that is. I think it's Trump. I don't care where you land on your politics. I'm talking about everybody getting burned at once. When people start going towards the White House, and there's going to be another 50-50, which is 50 protests in 50 states, I think is happening on Saturday. Anyway, they already pulled this off last week. They're going to do it again. And I think this is going to be way more coordinated. I think it's going to be way bigger. And I think that there is going to be some type of police involvement. I really do think he's going to try to get the states to arrest protesters. Anyway, I'm sorry. Okay, so I think that's going to be his reason to declare martial law. If that happens, I think that he will be able to get people down just for a little while. It's not going to last that long. Here's why I think in the beginning, the military and the police and ICE and everybody's going to want to get involved and be on Trump's side for a little bit because they're going to see it as a patriotic duty. They're going to see it that way. They're going to be like, oh man, we really got to be on this dude's side. He's the president. He's the boss, blah, blah, blah. Then they're going to see the utter terror of American citizens. It's going to weigh on them. It weighs on them now. That's why the police and that's why the military and that's why people in these and ICE and the people in these positions have PTSD. Because eventually this wears you down. And it's one thing when somebody's called, I can't remember the name of it. Anyway, the way they, insurgents, right? Remember when everybody was an insurgent? They weren't a person in the Middle East, they were insurgents. So it was easier to go over there and kick ass, right? When you start doing it here, and it's in your state, and you're on your block, or in an area where you grew up, or you're told you got to go down to where your aunt lives and you got to push everybody into their homes. Eventually people are not going to want to do that, and people are going to sit it out. If you thought that was an issue when we had the Vietnam War and people were just like, screw this, I'm out of here, and left, and everybody had a medical excuse, including the current president, then yeah, I think that that's eventually going to fall. Okay. The reason why I think, my second reason, is if he decides to pull something off, and mind you, keep this in mind, please. The yelling and the screaming that are coming from the Republican Party Lindsey Graham was literally almost crying 2 days ago, begging for money, saying that we had to give money in order for ICE to keep doing their job. It was reported this morning that they came up with a budget plan and they wanted $4 trillion in order to do that. And everybody's like, wait, what? You have got to be kidding me. You want $4 trillion? So, if you have Trump burning farmers, burning unions, burning the cops, burning the military, right? We don't want DEI. We don't want it in the military. We don't want it in our federal agencies. We don't want it in our police. We don't want it anywhere, right? Where's he going to get all these people from? There will be no one left. No one will be left. Because those same people that he's saying you're not important, you're a nobody, we don't want you here, you're a piece of shit, we're better than you, those are the same people he's going to have to beg to give him support. And I don't mean financial support. I'm talking about support when Americans are literally trying to pull down the gates of the White House the way they did on January 6th to get into the Capitol. You can't bully everybody and tell them they're not important and then ask them to do you favors. I mean, if you really, really think about it, right? Tesla stock is plummeting, right? So it's pretty much just Elon Musk and some nerds. Then you have the Republican Party, which, because they're in control of the presidency and they control the House and the Senate, that doesn't make them a bazillion people. That just means they had 3, 4, 5, even 10 numbers difference. But if they keep screaming and they keep yelling and that doesn't mean that the people, that doesn't mean they have the backup. You know, it's like bark and bite. So they bark, 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 bark. But when you come up to them, to their face, and say it again, they back up. It's just a bunch of punks. So, here's the other thing. Here's my possible third outcome. Somebody's going to come over here and kick our ass. Somebody's going to show their ass. Like, the only way we learn lessons around here sometimes is when we have major events, super major events. When something so devastating happens that we learn our lesson. You know when we learned that last? 9/11. So unless something that drastic, and please don't think that there aren't other countries right now that are just sitting there with their little pinky on the edge of their mouth, right? Petting a white cat, waiting for that one screw up moment. And they're just watching it. I mean, what do you think? Nobody else has a TV? That's not how it works. So while we're all here bickering, oh, Trump's the best. Oh, Trump's the worst. Oh, the government's doing this. Oh, the government. And they're just like, yeah. Oh, you're gonna fire more federal agents? Oh, really? Oh, brand new people at the FBI? Oh, you don't want any darkies in the military, huh? Yeah. This is how you turn your whole country into a target. We're a target. We are now a target. So it's either our country's going to have to be a target or the president's going to have to be a target. But it can't just be just straight out, nobody's getting hurt in this scenario. There's going to be a lot of hurt, a whole lot of hurt. The whole thing is who's going to be standing where and what side are you going to be on? Because it is going to come to sides. I watch way too much of this. I haven't slept since yesterday. Trying to come up with material for my show this weekend. And I'm not doing it. If you guys can hear me for my show this weekend, I'm taking a mental health day. I'm taking a mental health day because I can't. It's too much. It's too much. Everybody's going to have to find their little space and make their decisions based on what's best for them and their family. Take your Democrat bullshit, move it. Your Republican bullshit, move it. And then start thinking about yourself and the people that are around you, including your neighbors, including your area, including your town, including your state. And my state sucks. I watched that committee, that oversight committee. My state's one of the worst. We have like, I can't remember his name, this bald dude. And he was talking about all the stuff they're about to implement in my state. Like most of the stuff that these people are discussing is going to happen here. My state, I mean, one of the reddest ever states. So everything they're kind of talking about on a federal level or in a governmental level with the oversight committee and Doge, my state already planned on doing separately anyway as a state. So that's going to be fun. Other than that, to me, those are the only choices. You have to pick and choose. But there's only 3 outcomes. There's only 3. If we keep standing up, and now we're setting up dates, I think that this last thing worked because it was kind of like, off the cuff. Fine. Now they set up a date and a time, especially in New York, because that's supposed to be a really big one. I think that that's going to go badly. I really do. I think that these other places and these smaller states and these smaller towns, because I know in the town where I came from before I moved where I am now, we had protests, Black Lives Matter protests in this tiny little town, and there must have been 20 people there, and they were very proud of those 20 people. I knew at least 8 of them. So I know that that's a possibility. But I also know that right now, my state will not be having it. I know that my state will go up to these people. I know those police will confront them. I know that everybody now will have big cojones and say, yep, I'm going to take you in. You are a terrorist. I can see terrorist charges going through the roof over the next 2 weeks. And if nobody's been paying attention, Pam Bondi, the new AG, said that if you fall under the under being a terrorist here in the United States, you go to court and you are convicted. That's the death penalty. You get the same treatment as a Mexican drug cartel member that blew up a building of babies and grandmas on Easter and then on Christmas. You will get treated the same way. And we're sitting here bickering about this nonsense. There is no good outcome. This is the first time that there is no good outcome. There's going to be an outcome, but none of them are good. Being separate didn't work. But I think this time we're going to try to come together, and I think that's going to make it's going to make it worse. When you're in the middle class and when you're in the lower class, right? You still have this separation away from the how you call it, the 1%ers, right? Okay. We keep thinking that every dollar they have is the amount of power that they have. It is in a sense, but they're still individual people. He makes billions, Musk makes billions of dollars because he has workers. Bezos because he has workers. Zuckerberg because he has workers. All of this is because they have workers. When you don't go to work, they become in your tax bracket. Now, none of us get to make money. Do you understand that if they take everybody's Social Security, nobody gets their federal income tax, their money is now being taken away. They have to stay home now and take care of their children and their parents. They can't do anything because their child is sick and they can't afford their medication. Who's going to go to work? Who's going to be making those ugly ass cars and trucks? No one. Who's going to be delivering your packages? No one. Who's going to be sitting around Facebook banning you? No one. If you can't see that these people don't understand what they're doing, then you're missing the larger picture. To me, this is like every horrific event in the United States that's happened in the past where we never knew how it was set up. We never knew. We just know what happened, but we were never inside. We were cogs in the machine, but it wasn't a clear machine. Now we could see the steps to something horrific in real time because these idiots are texting it in real time. And no, I don't think that Trump is sitting up at 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock on the mat and sitting on the toilet texting. No, they have their own little machines. All of them have their own different mechanisms. They all have a setup and they all have a plan. It wouldn't surprise me in the least. And mark my words, it wouldn't surprise me in the least that every single thing that we have seen so far, where Trump, his people, and Musk, and all of these people have been in the same place, has either been AI generated or they're somewhere else. But I can guarantee you they're not where they say they are. When uh, when there was a bunch of Democratic Congress people that went to the Board of Education and got locked out, and they were like, "Oh no, it's because what's his name? Um, Musk is in the building or Musk is by." I'm telling you, it's something else. I'm telling you, it's something else. I enjoy doing my research. I enjoy my content. I enjoy everything that I do. And today I watched at least 10 different creators that I enjoy their content. And everything they brought up today and last night was stuff I discussed on my show on Sunday. And I got that information at least 2 or 3 days beforehand because I did 3.5 hours of show. That means I had done almost a whole week worth of research just to bring you the amount of information that I brought to you on Sunday/Monday. They're just getting it now. And these are people that have millions of subscribers. I have 18. I don't know how many people listen to me on Rev Radio. I have no idea. I have no idea. Will I get to that status? No. But I'll tell you what's upsetting, that they got 1 million followers and I came up with this information without an entire team. And I came up with that by myself last week. So when I'm telling you this now and why I decided with no sleep that I was going to do this recording and I was going to post it, it was because I wanted to make sure that I clearly stated that the choices that we have right now, the game has already been played. We don't have anything left. There are no more games to play. People are going to start going to jail. People are already dying in other countries right now. There is, I forgot how many millions or billions of food that you said USAID now has in these giant factories in Georgia where the food is spoiling. Listen, it's not like he said we're not going to give it to nobody else. We're just going to give it to Americans. Millions upon millions of pounds of food is sitting right now spoiling as I say this right now. Nobody's getting the food. No, it was in the billions. There you go. Some was supposed to go to Ukraine, some was supposed to Gaza, and some was supposed to go to the Sudan. And that was supposed to feed children there for 6 months. And it's gone. Even if they tried to ship it now, even if it was the hastiest attempt, that would never get there in time. And all we'd be doing is giving them spoiled food and they'd all get sick. All we're doing is pissing more people off every single day. All of these other countries. You know who else lives in these countries? Terrorists. People that don't already like us. But I'll tell you what, we always had a hand up. We had the military, right? Oh, the military lying. We have allies. We don't have allies anymore. Macron came out in an exclusive CNN interview saying Trump is losing his shit. What is he talking about? He can't do that. What is going on? Everybody already knows. If he decided today that he was going to do the you said thing, I don't know if you were there, but I talked about this on Sunday. China has already taken that spot. That's it. That means the intelligence, everything we got from these places is gone, done. Nobody's gonna give that up. They gave up the seat. The seat has been filled. When this food spoils, right, and there's no more food, if they decided, oh, I'm sorry, we're gonna replace it, they got to come up with now more billions of dollars to replace that food, and then find some way to get rid of billions of dollars of food they wasted, and then tell Americans that are hungry that it didn't go to them, that they sat on it the whole time. When they stopped the program, the food was already getting ready to be sent. It stopped. From that day forward, all he would have had to do was tell states, listen, we got a bunch of stuff. You might need it. Get your people down here. Get some truck drivers, get some factories, pull it together. Let's go and get rid of this food, because I don't want anybody to find out that we had this amount of food locked up and we didn't do anything about it. But nope, that didn't happen. I'm telling you, these two idiots are not in the same and not in the place that we think that they're at. There's no way. There's no way. You would never listen. I am a sweet, sweet woman. I really am. But if you'd have met me like 30 years ago, I was not the one to really mess around with. I wasn't always real sweet. I really wasn't. It took me a long time. I'm a better person now. When I bring these things up on my shows about how I see things going, it's because I know what I would do. And I know that if it was me and I was to be yelling and screaming and talking and putting literally millions of people against me, I wouldn't be sitting around taking photo ops where I was at and then let everybody know where I am. You can't do that. I'm not saying that he's smart. I'm not saying that he's stupid. I'm not saying Musk is smart. I'm not saying he's stupid. I'm just saying that the game is being played. And we're just sitting here and we're just eating up either side. That's it. The Democrats are like, oh God, I just want to be friends. And the Republicans are like, no, we don't need any friends. Take your black friends and your Venezuelan friends and your gay and trans friends with you. It's like, okay, dude, calm down. Like, at least hate a little bit, like maybe pick a group. No, he went full spectrum. He went full gay flag on it. He threw everybody in the mix. He was like, I'm going to hate on everybody. I don't care about none of y'all. Fine. Now, when you turn around and you realize that these idiots have been gone, they've just been robbing us for information. AI technology is going to shoot through the roof, and they're going to have the biggest amount of dum-dums ever as guinea pigs. Do you know why? Because we're the only country that has the, and I'm doing air quotes now, freedom to post, share, and do anything we want online. And we do that. And they eat that up. Them going into the system, besides the treasury, that's just to find out information. They don't care anything about the money, obviously. Elon Musk's deal with Visa, which apparently everybody just found out today. How you call it? And the new $391 billion extension or grant that he got right now, today, from the government to expand AI. How else would you be able to go straight forward into trying to get the people that put out the most information? You know why I think that Catholics are kind of cool? I don't mean like Catholic people. I mean like the Catholic Church. Like their whole setup is pretty awesome. Is because they have a system. First, they're the ones that started tithing, which is amazing, right? So this is how I feel that kind of coincides with what's going on right with the Republicans and how they're, like literally throwing themselves onto swords is, you pay in advance and then you go and you do whatever it is that you want to do. You can go kill and maim and rape, pillage, and you do whatever you want. Fine. You paid your sins in money to the church, right? Catholics tell you that if you just tell them your deepest, darkest secrets, the person that's behind that little curtain will talk on your behalf to God Himself. And then that dude will tell you what you need to do in order to, like, put the stamp on it for your forgiveness. Long story short, as slick as hell. Anybody could do mind control is definitely the Catholics because they got that down. They really do. Musk just pulled a Catholic priest on us. I don't mean the diddling. I don't mean that. I'm talking about listening in. Us telling him all of our secrets. All of our sins are now in Musk's hands. Our AI generated stuff, every single thing. George Manass. Oh, love him. Please look him up. Project Bluebeam. I did not think that this was where the recording was going to go, and I am going with it. I hope you're still here. I'm going to post the crap out of this as soon as I finish it. It's not a video. I'm in bed. It's freezing, and there's like 5 inches of snow outside. I was not getting on video today. So hopefully you stick it out with me. Anyway, doesn't matter. I'm having a good time. I'm putting out information. Anyway, so that was the best way to get it. So when I'm hearing people like, oh, just China wants our information. China doesn't want to know that you didn't put your 3% tax increase on your forms. Nobody cares. The information that a lot of these countries look for when they hack us is not even military. It doesn't have to be. It's information about us. We are the youngest nation on the planet. We are literally hundreds of years old. Middle East, bazillions. Asia, bazillions, right? So all of these places already been there, done that, right? They have the ruins. We don't have the ruins here. Our biggest ruins are probably like the Grand Canyon. And I can't even think of another place right now. Maybe the big old bowl of twine or some shit, right? So anyway, so they have all of that stuff going on for them. It's the information. You can't pull and you can't advance unless you have information. Everybody's like, oh, they just want us to be rich. No, we're the largest commodity of information. We tell them how our brain works, what we like, what we don't like, what our secrets are, what our kinks are, when we're cheating. You know what I mean? Who's looking at feet pics? You know what I'm saying? Who's over there, taking money out of the collection plate and using it to go gamble in Vegas? Who's that dude at the congressional hearing who's got a 3-piece suit on, but he's wearing lingerie under there? That's the stuff they want. That's what keeps the wheels turning. So right now, we have always been the jackpot. The only difference now between now and all over, all the other amount of years they've been doing this, like we had like the Oklahoma City bombing, and then we had 9/11. 9/11 was a big thing, and that was just to find out our reaction to, some horrific stuff. Oh, and then stuff happening right in front of our faces. And then us being gaslit. I was in New York on 9/11. I literally saw the fumes from a project building in Brooklyn. We had elections that day. So everybody was outside. So testing everybody's eyesight, right? We had all the firemen and the cops, and they were like, we heard explosions, and the floor was rocking before the planes even hit. Anyway, don't even get me on the 9/11 thing. Anyway, that's not my point. My point is that every couple of years, just as many times as they can, they do like these little things over and over and over again just to see. And I'm telling you, today was the day that it clicked for me. Today was the day. I was super excited on Sunday. Today is the day that it super clicked. And I was like, okay, I watched that stupid Doge thing. Oh my God, I wanted to punch people in the face. And I was like, I'm seeing it by myself. I hate this. If I don't do a show about this, I'm not going to want to do shows ever again. You have no idea. They literally found the jackpot. It's not about the money. They don't care. They're gone. They have the information that they needed, and now they are leaving us in the dark by ourselves to fend for ourselves. It's literally a money heist, but of information. So it would be an information heist. That's us. That's what they did. They were really smart about it. It worked. And now they're just going to go and do whatever the hell they're going to do with their new AI technology. That's it. That's it. Why do you think they're leaving us wide open right now? Why do you think they're pulling everybody from all of the agencies that literally have that protection? Do you know why they never tried to do this before? Because we still had whistleblowers in the system. We had our Eric Snowdens, we had our WikiLeaks, we had shit, Anonymous. We had all of these little places that would eventually sneak up and say, ha, I'm snitching. Why is nobody doing that now? You know why? You know why everybody's falling into place? Because they know there's nothing left. Do you know that whole little thing that what's his name? Lindsey Graham did? He cried a couple of months back. Like I saw him in an interview and his eyes were welted and there was a tear running down his face. And I'm like, is he crying? That should have been our clue. That should have been our clue that shit was going to go down. That should have been our clue. Why are these grown men who have literally been playing the same system, right? Where they're like, oh, I hate Democrats, oh, I hate Republicans, and they're all high fiving and having steaks and shrimp and hookers in the dining rooms, right? And we're all just sitting there like, oh, he's got my back. No, they're all cool. They're all friends. They already did it. Why is it that this time they took it this far? In no administration ever has this happened. You know what? That's a lie. It was only one time, there was only one president that ever had to deal with something like this. And guess what? They blew his head up in front of people on TV in the middle of the day. And then killed his brother. And now they're what? Grandson? There's so many of them. Anyway, now they got this little idiot licking the boots, putting his whole generational timeline and namesake in the trash. You think anybody's going to be talking about John F. Kennedy assassination? They're like, oh, we're going to have like 2,500 documents. They're all going to be redacted anyway. Nobody cares. You know the legacy that name's going to be left? This crazy son of a bitch, because he's going to get confirmed. They confirmed everybody else. Now, if they don't do that for him, that's going to be really weird. So, yeah. Anyway, so I got about 1 minute. I'm going to do another one right after this. I just don't want them to be 2 hours long. So, I didn't even mention it when I got on here, but you'll know it's me because it'll be on my station. So, this is Trinity and this is Lovespiracy. I'm happy to be doing these now. I'm super excited. If my audio doesn't work, I'm going to lose it. Anyway, this is the first part. I will be continuing it right after this. They will only be 35 minutes long. Don't know how many I'm going to do. But if you've been here this far, please stay around for part 2, as I will delve more into the Doge hearings from this morning and the new plan that they're trying to figure out to start possibly prosecuting federal judges. All right. So thanks for sticking around, and I'll see you for part 2.